Ace Attorney, Justice for All, is not as good as the first game.
Yeah.
I don't think that's an unpopular opinion.
Yeah.
It's not as good. So, okay, I actually have difficulty ranking Ace Attorney games based on each other. Like, if you were to ask me what's your favorite Ace Attorney game, I would tell you... It's
easy to rank the cases.
I would tell you, like, a 5-way tie for first place.
Well, it's hard for me because Justice for All has probably my favorite and least favorite case.
That's the case for most people. So, let's... I hate the first 3 cases of Justice for All. Like, actually hate all 3 of the first cases in Justice for All. And I love the last one.
Say Phoenix Wright 3, Phoenix Wright 1, Phoenix Wright 2.
So, the first case, I think we're already off to a bad start.
Yeah.
It's not
Amnesia.
good.
Really? Amnesia?
The amnesia plot is really stupid. And, I mean, that doesn't totally ruin the case. But, like, there's nothing interesting about that case. It's incredibly easy. It might be the easiest case aside from the first Turnabout. It honestly might be easier than that. It's an incredibly easy case. I feel like it drags on just a little bit long.
Yeah.
The amnesia plot is really dumb. The only saving grace this case has is Maggie Bird, and I really like Maggie. I think that Maggie's fun.
She's alright.
I like her. She's fun. I enjoy Maggie Bird. I've got
Case makes me sad because clearly her and her boyfriend were just perfect for each other. Case just made me sad. Like some of these other ones, like, you don't really care that much about whoever died. Like, there's not really any reason to, or, like, either they're not relevant, or, like, what you learn about them is that they were kind of a shitty person, like with Juan Corrida. But, like, with this dude, he was, like, an upstanding guy. Like, I feel really bad that he's dead.
So, the best villain versus the worst villain in terms of difficulty. Best villain, I mean, so just talking about the games that she's played. The best villain's Von Karma. And in terms of difficulty. And then the worst villain...
I mean, I guess that would go to Pain.
Frank saw it.
Yo, hi, MTopper12, what's up?
Hello. We're talking about Justice for All and how I don't like this game.
Yeah, like I said, the first case just kind of made me sad. Like most of the other cases, like, you just don't really care about whoever died. Except Mia. I guess I should say that. Except Mia. But, like, yeah. Second best villain is Whip Lady, Franziska.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, I kind of felt bad. She's, like, lost this really good guy, and then, like, it's so obvious that the guy is the guy who did it, because he's the one who hit you upside the head with the frickin', with the fire extinguisher. Can we talk about something important, like green grapes or red grapes? Red grapes.
Sure.
But, yeah, he's the one who hit you with the fire extinguisher, so you know it's him.
He's got a sick ringtone.
He does. He does have a pretty sick ringtone. But, let me see. I'm trying to think of, like, something else. Like, I mean, yeah, like, it's really obvious. Like, all the evidence is just handed to you on a fucking platter. It's so obvious. It's so easy. So, you know.
Yeah, it's just, I don't think it's a very
Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's anything else in that case. I mean, like, I know you like Maggie, but for me, she was just kind of like, meh.
I understand that they had to come up with some excuse as to why, like they have to tell you how to play the game, but every other game just does that better.
Yeah, I think they're...
Every other game just handles that a lot better. Yeah.
Like, they already... So, here's the biggest thing, is, like, there's a way easier way they could have done it, and had, like... They could have given you, like, a new assistant that you're explaining this to, and, like...
Could have.
They already jumped back in time...
That's how they do it in, like, every other game.
They already jumped back in time with doing, Reunion and Turnabout takes place before the first one. So they could have just introduced Pearl in that one, and then and had you been explaining it to Pearl, and then told you in the next case how you met Pearl, since that's what they did anyway. But, whatever.
I mean, I don't think there's much left to say about
Lost Turnabout. No.
I give it a bad. I think that it's actually a bad case.
Pearl is 8. It's definitely a meh.
I think it is actually bad. Then we get to Reunion and Turnabout, and it's not much better.
Reunion and Turnabout.
It's not awful, but man, do I not care about a single character in that case.
Again, don't care about the guy who died.
Don't care about the guy Turner Gray. Yeah. No one cares about Turner Gray.
Reunion Turnabout was second best in that game. I agree.
We did skip over the best one great aspect about the Lost Turnabout, and that is that it has the best name pun in all of the series, which is Dustin Prince. I think that's the best.
That's right.
One.
That was the name of the guy who died.
Some of those name puns are hilarious, and I love Dustin Prince. And there's some name puns that I don't get until like I've already beaten the game, and I'm thinking about like, oh yeah, case 3. Oh, his name was Romaine Lettuce. What? What? I mean, and they get a little silly with some of the name puns later. Like one of the victims in Investigations 1, his name is Dyed Man. So they just stop caring after a while. They really give up. Although no game will be as bad about how terrible the name puns are as Spirit of Justice. Spirit of Justice has some famously bad name puns.
So, Reunion Turnabout. Yeah, it has an interesting motive, but not...
Politician. That's a good one. I
Politician.
really like Politician.
It has an interesting motive, but it...
When I say the bad name puns, I'm talking about like I'll be your guide and like Peaslubin Understanden. I'm talking about those guys.
I mean, guys, we had Red White from Blue Corps in the first game. Ordered Arby's and they ran out of mozzarella sticks, so I got refunded for those and got a free cookie. Hell yeah.
Congratulations. Believe in me. Some of the, like, they're so bad. They're so terrible.
Yeah, Morgan Le Fay's, like, motive is kind of...
She's a boring villain. I'm gonna say it. I don't care about Morgan Le Fay as a...
Did I say Le Fay?
I think so, but...
Morgan Le Fay!
After.
Yeah.
I don't care about Morgan Fay as a villain. I don't care about Eenie Meiny as a villain. Lotta felt kind of pointless.
I saw
in
the
that
Eenie
case.
Meiny thing coming from a mile away.
And
but I thought
apparently so did the writers of Persona 5 The Royal.
But it also gave us the best character, Pearl.
It did give us Pearl. And I do have to commend it to some extent for giving us Pearl. But I just think the case is so boring. I don't care about any of the characters. I've previously established that I'm not exactly a Maya fan, so I wasn't exactly
I think it was kind of dumb that Lotta was there.
Lotta doesn't really feel like she belongs there.
I'll say that.
And,
but they needed a witness.
They did need a witness. And until
I feel like at that point they should have just made up somebody.
And until very recently, I didn't care at all about Franziska von Karma. I've sort of done a bit of a turn on Franziska. I kind of love her now.
Oh, she's great. She's got the whip. I
used
remember
to
hearing
hate her.
that Von Karma was gonna be the prosecutor. I was like, dude, I don't want to mess with this guy again. And then they're like, no.
It's his
Franziska. I'm like, and then we saw her, and then she pulled out the whip. 10 out of 10.
I've kind of, like I said, I've kind of circled back around to now I kind of love Franziska. I used to really hate her. Like she used to be one of my least favorite Ace Attorney characters. But I've kind of...
oh no, she's hot!
But I've kind of done a complete
I'm surprised
like
you didn't
180.
like Franziska.
No, I just didn't like her. She was just, like, annoying. I just thought that she was, like, just overly annoying.
Fair enough.
So, Franziska is a character that I now like, and I now am upset that she's not in more shit. They refuse to bring this woman back.
It sounds like he only likes you. No, trust me, this man has so many waifus. Don't worry.
I'm now kind of upset that they haven't brought back Franziska in like a lot of later games. I think that Franziska really gets shafted as a character. She's really not in a whole lot, and in any time she does make an appearance, she almost never interacts with Phoenix.
That's lame.
Yeah. So I think that Franziska is a criminally underused character. And I don't know, man. I don't have a whole lot to say about Reunion and Turnabout. I just don't like it.
I mean, I liked it.
I think that the first day is unreasonably difficult. Am I the only one that thinks that the game has like a really weird difficulty spike?
It does.
That first day?
It does.
That first day is really hard for some reason. I don't know if I'm just stupid.
No. I had trouble too, but then again, I'm pretty stupid. So, are we stupid?
But like, I feel like the second day is like almost free.
Yeah.
Because it's like super easy on the second day, but that first day is really hard. Like right out the tutorial, they hit you with a really hard case.
Yeah, it's definitely pretty difficult at the beginning. It's hard to figure out exactly what you need to do, and like I had trouble figuring out where I needed to go, even though it's like 3 rooms.
Yeah.
Like I couldn't figure out like.
I mean, you know who the killer is from day 1, because like it's not the 8-year-old, it's not Lotta, it's not Maya, it's not Phoenix, it's not Gumshoe. Well, who's that leave? That leaves our 2 new characters. Surprise! It's both of them. They're both the killer.
I mean, I thought we were gonna have to. For a little bit, I didn't realize it was like I thought that it honestly was like the spirit of the nurse, and I was just gonna be like, "Can we, guys? It wasn't Maya. It was the dead bitch." And then it was like, and then we started to put stuff together, and I was like, "Okay, no, she was framed."
Yeah. Which like, if we want to talk about some more petty villain motives. How Morgan Fay had the same motive as fucking Neji Hyuga from Naruto.
Yeah. Just fucking the same plot.
Yeah.
Mia literally said Maya couldn't dream. Yeah, but we didn't figure that out until a little bit later.
It's like the only time that they ever address spirit channeling in court.
Yeah.
Even
the judge has no idea what the fuck is going on.
Like Mia Fey, a known defense attorney who the judge has met more than once, like just starts showing up in court. Like in one example, during the case of her murder.
Yeah, we need to talk about that. Nobody talks about how like either Pearl or Maya is sitting there, and then all of a sudden a different woman is there, and no one comments on it.
No one says anything.
No one like the entire courtroom. Like when the camera backs out, like those stands are full of people. It's not just you and the prosecutor and the judge. Like the stands are full of people. And no one comments on it. No one cares. There's a child, and then suddenly there's a grown woman, and we're okay with that.
It's so weird how spirit channeling is in the Ace Attorney series, because like it's known enough that like the police know about how spirit channeling works and have used it in the past. Like, the police have, like, used spirit mediums to help solve crimes in the past.
They're 2 very destructive things.
But, like, they don't question it in court. And, like, Phoenix...
I found my socks.
And Phoenix doesn't know about spirit channeling until he sees Maya do it. He thinks she's lying. But, like, the police know about it.
This random girl knows about it. Nini. Or I guess I should say Mimi, but yeah.
Yeah.
Like, she knows about it.
It's like the Jedi mind trick, where it's like the like Han Solo, who was like alive during the Clone Wars, has never heard of the Jedi, but then Watto knows what the Jedi mind trick is.
He lives on a fucking sand planet. Isn't the Faye family kind of famous?
I mean, about as famous as a spirit medium could be. I mean, Phoenix had never heard about them.
Yeah, Phoenix had never... He didn't know Mia was had anything to do with spirit channeling until Maya showed up.
Yeah, and even then Maya said that she was a spirit medium, and Phoenix didn't take her seriously at first.
Yeah.
Do you have anything else to say about Reunion and Turnabout? Or do you just want to jump into the elephant in the room?
Let's just...
First of all, let's give our rating. I would say it's bad.
I liked it. I would say it's good.
It's pretty, yeah. I'm not a huge fan of Reunion and Turnabout. I do not much care for it.
But I can tell you the next one, bad. Negative bad.
Let's talk about Turnabout Big Top. Let's talk about what we like about Turnabout Big Top.
Big Top.
Don't worry, this won't take long.
Maximilian Galactica.
I like Maximilian Galactica. I like him. I think he's funny. I think he's a fun defendant. I like that his name is Billy Bob Johns.
I don't hate Mo. I know you're going to kill me for saying that.
I don't hate Mo. I would rather not have to ever see him in another game.
This is another victim that I feel bad about, though.
Yeah.
Because we find out how great the Ringmaster was.
Yeah.
We don't like Monkey. No, I don't know. Big Top is so terrible. They literally could have just talked.
Yes.
And it would have been avoided with a simple conversation.
Big Top is real stupid, and I'll tell you why. Almost none of the characters are likable, and all of the likable characters get fucked, and all of the unlikable characters they just walk. They're fine. Let's talk about my least favorite character in the Ace Attorney franchise, Regina Berry. I fucking hate Regina Berry. She is the worst character in
it kind of caught me a little off guard. They were like, oh yeah, Bat...
She doesn't know how death works.
Okay, no. But they were like, Bat got bit by a lion and we had to take him to a hospital and he's in a coma, but we just didn't tell anybody. No, they didn't question you at the hospital?
Yeah.
Nobody questioned anything at the hospital?
Or even when you prove it in court that Regina Berry is responsible for this man's coma, they're like, oh, we're not going to send her to jail, though.
We sent April May to jail. We sent Adrienne Andrews to jail.
Did you know they didn't send Salmonella to jail?
Really?
Yeah, he's in investigations. He's in the background.
We sent two people who were, did other shit to jail.
But not Regina Berry. Literally put a man in a coma by having a lion eat him. So yeah, Regina Berry, fucking awful. Another terrible character. Ben Woodman. What is it? Ben Woodman. Yeah, oh my god. Oh my
Trillo. God.
First of all, he's trying to marry a 16-year-old. He's 30.
He's 30. Regina's 16.
And I realized that the puppet is trying to marry Regina, not him. Come on, guys.
Guys, let's not pretend.
I know this is Ace Attorney and it's silly, but come on.
It is at the end of the day a puppet.
Either this puppet is actually sentient and actually has some life to him, or Ben Woodman needs to be put in a psychiatric ward.
I mean, let's not pretend Max is
okay.
Innocent here. Max is also 21, trying to marry a 16-year-old.
Yeah, that's true. He at least asked Russell Berry's blessing on that.
That's true.
At the very least.
Trillo was just
I'm not saying
propose.
that it's okay, but he at least asked Russell Berry if that was alright with him, and he said yes. Once again, not saying that makes it alright, but it's better than nothing. It is legal in Japan. Although, the version that we played doesn't take place in Japan.
It's true. Yeah.
Another really likable character, Acro.
He had to be the murderer.
And he's the murderer. He goes to jail, but Regina Berry doesn't. Mo is you feel bad for Mo because he's this pathetic loser who's just trying his
40-year-old man.
Yeah, and he's just trying his best, and everyone that he's friends with either dies or goes to jail, and now he has to
resurrect
this circus and raise some man's daughter that I don't remember if they say that he likes Regina or not. I don't remember.
I think he cares for her, like his own daughter, but I mean... it's still, like...
Turnabout Big Top,
It shouldn't...
At least it's not 3 days. That's the only solace I can give this case. At least it's not 3 days.
It shouldn't be 2 days.
Pearl's not even, like, in that case. They just, like, have Pearl hang out at home, I guess, throughout that whole case. She's just not even
you
there.
took her to the circus, somebody died, and then you left her at the office? Like, who's watching Pearl?
Exactly.
Who's watching... Did you send her back to Curine Village?
But for who? Who would look at her at Curine Village?
I guess that's fair. Supposedly there's other spirit mediums there. We've been told that. The plant. Charlie the plant.
Yeah, Charlie. Like, it's so ridiculous. The music is so annoying. Oh my god, that circus music, like, gets on your nerves.
I hated that she got in trouble for pressing when Mo was talking.
Yeah, it's...
That was, like... I shouldn't have had to need a guide for that.
Yeah, it's real stupid. The best thing about that case is, like, I was expecting it to be 3 days, and then, like, you go in on day 2, and you're like, oh my god, I'm only halfway through with this shit. And then Maya is like, so Phoenix, what's our plan? And Phoenix says, well, luckily I know that Acro's the killer, and I know exactly how he did it. And I'm like, we're finishing this up today.
Except I hated that part because I was like, hey, Phoenix, you mind telling me what happened? Because I don't know what happened.
Well, it was great for me. And I was talking to a friend about this the other day, and he had the exact same experience, where it's like both of us were just fueled by rage and anger and just wanting that shit to be over. And we also knew how it was. That it was like, anytime they ask us a question, it's like you go into a zen state, where it's like, well, Mr. Wright, what was the murder... The bust. Okay, well, how did I kill it? You dropped it. Okay, well, how did I get the bust? Monkey.
Meanwhile, I was just like, does somebody want to tell me what's going on? No? Okay, I'm gonna look it up. Because I had no clue. I was like, okay, I know Acro did it. Still don't know how he did it.
Tells you. They're like, so Phoenix, like, this guy did it, right?
Oh, no, even before we met Acro, and I was like...
This guy's too nice.
I was like, it's a guy we met on the second day of the case, he did it.
He's too nice. He definitely did it. Which, that's another thing, is, like, I hate when they don't introduce you to the killer on day 1.
Yeah, because it's so obvious you get to day 2, you're like, it was no one we talked to yesterday. Who is it? Oh, look, we met a guy on day 2. It's him.
And he's suspicious as fuck. So, yeah, I mean, God, we could turn this into the Turnabout Big Top podcast if we wanted to. Like, it's just so bad. But, that all being said, I personally do not even think it's the worst case in Ace Attorney. It's pretty terrible. And
well,
I would
so
give
far
it...
it's the worst for me.
I would give it an awful... Not an awful
It's
minus.
awful.
I'm reserving my awful minus for a certain case later.
Oh, goodness.
But it's pretty awful.
It's awful. I mean, I'm trying to think, like I honestly was so confused because I knew Acro did it, but I didn't know how. And then, like, we were told it was the bust. Like, we saw the bust, and I knew that, like, Monkey brought the bust. Let me guess, a case involving a lion?
No.
A tiger?
No. The case that I'm referring to is Rise from the Ashes. I really fucking hate that case.
But... Yeah, like, I just got so confused. I'm like, he did it. I just don't know how. And then I was like, well, they saw the bust, but how do they see the bust? I still don't know.
Let's also talk about, and I'm gonna call out all the people who hate on Apollo Justice Case 3 real quick, who say that it doesn't make sense why the police would arrest the defendant in that case, despite the fact that Apollo calls the police out for how stupid they were in that case, and the prosecutor of that case says, yeah, but they were just kind of arresting the first guy that they saw, and say that Apollo Justice has horrible writing and is a terrible game because of that. The plot of Turnabout Big Top is they arrested a man because the police, honest to God, thought he killed a man and then flew away.
Yeah.
It just flew. Just levitated. Just went to space.
Which is so funny because we have to talk about this. What does and does not exist in this universe? Because spirit channeling exists. That is honest to God, like, real magic that exists in this. But people can't fly. Like, that's where we draw the line. But so, people believe we can fly?
There's a strange number of magicians in the Ace Attorney games. Like, you meet, like, a new magician in, like, every game. And like, every time there will be something involving magic in the murder, and they'll be like, is this magic trick real? And then, like, Phoenix or Apollo or whoever you're playing as is like, no, that's stupid. Magic's not real. You idiot. Why would you believe that magic is real? Like,
even though I have a spirit channeling friend?
Phoenix, I would like you to look at Mia Fey, the dead woman, please.
Hey, what about the thing that lets you see when people are lying?
Oh, we didn't talk about that. What do you think about Psyche Locks?
I like the Psyche Locks. They're fun. They're interesting. They've thrown me off guard a couple times. But I think it's an interesting mechanic to sort of... I feel like in some cases, like in some spots, in certain places, like I feel like they just put it in there to extend your investigation a little more.
It gives you something to do during investigation.
It does give you, like, a direction.
Yeah.
It gives you a direction, but I feel like in some of them they just kind of, like, throw it in there and just kind of like, oh, go solve the Psyche Lock.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, whenever I see a Psyche Lock, my initial response is, okay, let's get this done. I think that Psyche Locks work a lot better
Let me commit a murder and say I was channeling a murder, that's why I did it.
I think that Psyche Locks work a lot better in the Yamazaki games, Dual Destinies and Spirit of Justice. They're a lot more linear.
Okay, those are in those.
Yeah, they're a lot more linear, and I know that a lot of people don't like that, because they're a lot easier, but they also guarantee that you have all of the evidence that you need going into it. Because that's an annoying thing, is sometimes you don't know if you have the right piece of evidence.
Yeah.
And then your two options are sit there and present every piece of evidence if you don't know the answer, or just leave and hope that you find the evidence, hope that you don't already have it and you're not just stupid like I am.
Like me. There was one where I already had it and I didn't know.
Yeah, that's happened to me a couple of times, where I'm like, well, I guess I just don't have the evidence. I'll go find it, and then I have nothing to do, and I'm like, let's try that Psyche Lock again. maybe I do have the evidence.
Yeah, I like the Psyche Locks, though. They're definitely... I think I told you had it, yeah. Like, you were just like, I think it's this, and I was like, well, it's better than any idea I've got, so...
So here's the perspective of an Ace Attorney player playing Justice for All, or playing the trilogy, released on iPhone in the year 2014. You play through Rise from the Ashes, and you play through all those touchscreen minigames, and you hate it. And it takes 12 hours, and you want to die. And you're like, okay, that shit's over. You get to Justice for All. You play through The Lost Turnabout, and you're like, well, that was pretty bad. That was pretty not good, but it was a tutorial. You play through Reunion and Turnabout, and you're like, well, that was also very not good. Alright, well, the next one will be better. Ooh, it's a circus. That'll be fun. And then you play Big Top, and you're like, man, I don't think I want to play the Ace Attorney series anymore. I think that these games are awful. Maybe I've still got 4 of these left. I've got, like, was the first game an accident? Like, was that a fluke? And you're like, whatever. I'm at the last case. I'll finish this up. Maybe it'll be good. And then fucking Maya Fey gets kidnapped. And you're like, oh shit, things are happening in this game. Wait a minute. Is this good? Am I having fun? I'm a person again. I forgot what it feels like to live. And that is what Farewell My Turnabout feels like. That case is so good. It's so good. And it's why I have trouble ranking the Ace Attorney games, is because, like, I hate the first 3 cases of Justice for All. But the last case is, like, top 3 for me.
Yeah.
So it's like, overall, compare it to something like Trials and Tribulations, where I don't dislike any of the cases in it, but none of them are really outstanding, with the exception of maybe, like, the short case in that game. Like the first case, which I really like. I think that's one of the best tutorials. But I would say, like, yeah, I like Trials and Tribulations better than Justice for All, even though Justice for All has, like, a god case in it.
It's so good!
So let's talk about
Well, first, let's talk about how you're at this party, and Will Powers is there. We're bringing some friends back. We got Will Powers. We got a lot of heart.
Yeah.
Like, that's cool. And then we get Winnie back.
Yeah, but whatever.
But, like, the point is like...
This is the case that should have been called Reunion
and Turnabout.
Because it is a reunion for many characters.
And we've got, like, the whole Nickel Samurai thing, which is, like, a throwback
very similar to Turnabout Samurai, which, like, once again, you start that case and you're like, oh shit, we're doing Steel Samurai. The last one wasn't very good. This is another Steel Samurai case.
But it's like a fun little throwback. It's a little, And we've got Pearl and Maya, and then it's like, oh shit, a murder happened. And then Maya gets fucking... I knew something bad was gonna happen when I was like...
When you see Alfred.
When you see this man, and he's like, there's a call for you from Curine Village. Like, who the fuck from Curine Village is gonna be calling you at this goddamn hotel?
Yeah.
She has a cell phone, guys. I want you guys to remember. Maya has a cell phone. It's evidence in Turnabout Sisters. So who the fuck was calling her at the hotel?
Exactly.
That she's not staying at. They're just there for the event.
Well, and that's what's shady about it, and that's what you're like...
But immediately I was like, something's happening. Nope. Okay. Jeez.
Oh my goodness. Like, I don't even know where to start with this case. Because there's so many great things.
The bells are really ruining your speech.
Yeah, I don't really know even where to start with this case, because there's so much good stuff to talk about.
It's so good. I mean, let's just kind of go through the story of it. I mean, this is another one where, like I was talking about how, like, some of these people who die, you just don't really care. Like,
yeah.
This one, I cared less. By the end of it, I was like, I would have killed this guy, too. Like, this guy was awful.
Yeah, and, I mean, your defendant is, spoilers, he's guilty. And you've never had a guilty client in Ace Attorney
which it's interesting because, like, yeah, you don't, like, slowly you're like, okay, I'm really running out of ways to prove him innocent. And I was honestly waiting for, like, that sort of miracle, because some of the cases, like, look really bad for a little bit, and then there's, like, that miracle evidence.
And they're like, no, your dude just did it.
It's just like, no, he did it. He's guilty. Like, he didn't pull the trigger.
Well, and they do a really good job of setting that up, because they give you the, like, the Magatama. They do that very intentionally. Where they're like, hey, this guy's not lying. You have basically a truth detector in your pocket. And this guy's not lying. So, like, okay, I guess he's innocent, Like, well, let's just keep going. And the way that they set up, like, it really does seem like Adrienne Andrews killed the guy. And that leads me to what I think is, like, one of the most, like, hype moments in Ace Attorney is when you are just, like, pinning the murder on Adrienne Andrews. Like, because you legitimately think that she did it.
Yeah, and you have no other, like, the evidence points to either your client or Adrienne Andrews. Yeah. And so you're doing everything you can to pin it on her, and it's like...
Well, because, like, and not even wrongfully, like... You, the player, as well as Phoenix Wright, like, legitimately believe that this woman is guilty. And, like, you just, like, you did it, bitch! I saw you! I know you did it! Admit to it, bitch! And she's just crying in a corner.
Yeah.
And then you find out, like, the next day that it's like, so Adrienne didn't do it. And you're like, It's like, you don't say.
Yeah, I think it's like, it's one of those things where you think you've got it figured out, but you don't. But yeah, I was really waiting for, like, that magic piece of evidence, and so you're pinning on her, and I was like, I think it's gotta be her. But I also, you accidentally told me that
there's a second day.
That there was a second day.
Yeah.
And so I was like, well, then it's gotta be someone we meet on the second day, because that's the pattern. When we haven't met the murderer on the first day, we met them on the second day. I was like, okay, we're going to get our magic piece of evidence. And then the second day...
Well, you didn't think that Will Powers was the killer?
No.
Oh, okay.
He's a good boy. And then slowly, more and more, it's like the evidence starts stacking up even worse, and you're just like, what the fuck? And then we go to the house, the mansion.
And then he becomes Satan.
Well, first, then we go to the mansion, and I was like, okay, yeah, that's 100%. Like, that's the door from when we saw Maya a minute ago.
You see the butler, and you're like, it's
yeah, and then we get 5 locks.
Then you get 5 locks, and you break them, and he becomes Satan.
Where's he get the glass from? He's just like, yes. It's like, where's the fucking glass from?
His glass of chocolate milk. I know it's supposed to be like whiskey. It's chocolate milk. It looks like chocolate milk.
But yeah, it's like...
Do you agree with me that the scar on his face is from his cat?
You know what? Sure. I was like, I guess he's guilty, and I'm like, it's like, but we've got to find a way out of this. Like, we're gonna find a way. We're gonna, like, pin it on the killer. We're gonna, like, somehow catch the killer. And we still, like, we kept going, and I was like, we haven't caught the killer. What are we gonna do?
I love that you just don't catch the killer.
Yeah.
I think that's so cool that you just don't catch him. Okay. I want to talk about Shelley the Killer, and we can talk about all the other characters in the case. But while we're on the topic of the killer, I think that the killer is such a cool character. I know he comes back in Investigations 2. Haven't played that one, so I don't know what his fate is in Investigations 2. So nobody tell me, because I'm going to play that one soon enough. Like, I really think that the killer is such a cool character, because he's kind of like he's like a dark reflection of, like, Phoenix Wright, in a way. Where they're both, like, men who take what they do very seriously, and they have utmost faith in their client.
Yeah.
They value trust in their client above all else.
Well, and he's got his set of morals and things that he abides by. Like, I mean,
yeah.
He didn't break, like, the police were after him. He could have killed Maya, he could have, dropped Maya. But he stuck with his contract and with his deal with us, He was like, these are the things he abides by, Because, yeah, at any point, he could have just been like, oh, you sent the police after me. You broke it. But, like, he also knew, like, he still kept... He knew it wasn't that Phoenix had sent,
right.
The police. So, there are certain things, like, he just kind of got his, like, morals he abides by. I mean, he's a killer, but, like, he's got his, like, twisted set of morals.
Yeah. No, I really love Shelley the Killer. I think that he's super cool. I think that he's an awesome character. And I love when he shows up as the radio. And the radio kind of looks like him. It's got, like, the crease down the middle, and it's got, like the knob that looks like his monocle.
Yeah.
I really love that. It's I love that he sweats oil. Very large drops of oil. Which it's because it was, the game was released on Game Boy Advance, so, like, they had to make the sprites big so you could see, but, like, that's some huge fucking oil.
Yeah.
Return of Edgeworth.
Yes, I did not see that coming. When he's like, I sent you a little gift, and
I legitimately thought Von Karma died. I thought that they killed Franziska.
And it would also, when they said she got shot, and then they said the shoulder, I was like, I know which shoulder.
Yeah, they were like, she got shot in the right shoulder. Like, wait a minute. No, and this Edgeworth returning is it's the first in it's not the last time that they bring Edgeworth back in a final case. That's kind of the trend. They love to just bring Edgeworth back. Sometimes as the prosecutor, sometimes to just chill. Sometimes
and
just
I like that
out.
when he first shows up, like, he shows up a little bit earlier in the case.
Yeah.
And he helps you out.
Yeah.
He gives you some evidence, and he's like, I don't think you knew this, but here you go, Phoenix. And, like, even though he's, as far as we know, still working for the prosecutor's office in that moment.
I like that he's gone on his Vegeta journey to become, like the true Super Saiyan. And he's like, I am the king of all prosecutors now. I prosecute based on law, not based on win record, and I have discovered what it means to be a just man. That's
And you're just like,
it's
what
like,
the
dude,
fuck?
you're a lawyer. Like, and that's one thing that's great about Ace Attorney is how seriously everybody takes their job. Like, this game would not be nearly as interesting as, as if these people took their jobs about as seriously as any other television lawyer out there. Like, if they took their job as seriously as someone on, like, Law and Order, be like, okay, whatever. But the fact that they're like, this is the duty of a prosecutor. This is what a prosecutor must uphold, or else society collapses as we know it. And I love that, how seriously they are about their jobs.
Like I said, I definitely like that he helps you out, that he's kind of a bro. He's just kind of like, oh yeah, hey Phoenix, I'm back. And Phoenix is like, fuck you. I love that Phoenix is so mad. Phoenix is so mad that his boyfriend ran off. And he's like, well, whatever. Here you go. Here's some stuff to help you out. So I liked that. I liked that he showed up, and then he jumps in as the prosecutor
and wins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He wins.
I mean, this is the reason why they wrote Edgeworth out of the series, at least in the first few cases, is they said, well, we built Edgeworth up as like this awesome prosecutor, like in the first game, so we can't have him in every game, otherwise he would seem really lame because he would just lose every case because
it's like,
obviously Phoenix has to win.
The Star Trek character?
The Worf effect is what it's called. So they would make Edgeworth just look like a total goober if he just lost every case. So they were like, okay, well, we're going to write him out, we'll bring in a new prosecutor. And then they were very strategic about the one case that they do bring Edgeworth back in the second game. He wins. He wins that case.
Yeah. What happens if you pick not guilty, they still give him a guilty?
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
It's just slightly different dialogue.
Okay.
If you pick not guilty, which I always pick not guilty because I think it's more satisfying. Phoenix gives him like a smirk and says like, well, Mr. On Guard, looks like you're about to walk free. And he's like, no, man, I did it. Send me to jail. I don't want to die.
That's hilarious.
It's real great.
Yeah, I like that he comes back and he's kind of he doesn't know it. He doesn't know what's going on, but he's kind of a bro and helps you out a lot through that case.
Well, he definitely knows kind of what's going on, but he doesn't want it to seem like they're like colluding against Matt On Guard or the judge or whatever.
But he doesn't know about Maya, is what I mean.
Definitely knows about Maya.
Does he? I thought he didn't know about Maya until later.
Why wouldn't he know about Maya?
Because I don't think you told him until later, and then he sends the cops.
Did Gumshoe not tell him?
I don't think so.
I might be misremembering something.
I mean, I could be too, even though I just played the game.
I also just played it.
Looks like you got what you wanted. The defense pleads not guilty, as always.
Yeah, that's what Phoenix says. But I mean, like, Phoenix throws him the phone in an epic moment, by the way. That's the one piece of animation in this whole series, where the phone spins into the background. I love that animation for some reason. And then, like, Edgeworth plays it off all cool, and then they go to recess, and he's like, "What's going on? Give me your phone."
And then Gumshoe gets into a car accident.
I thought Gumshoe died. I thought that this case went so fucking hard that they killed Dick Gumshoe. I thought that they legitimately killed him off screen. I thought that's how hard this case was going.
What else was going to happen? They kidnapped Maya. They shot Franziska.
I thought that we were just starting to cap main characters. I seriously thought that it was just getting so intense. We were just killing off the main cast. Like, they're just gone now.
Dude, what is the name of that song that I like that plays during all the, really high stakes moments?
I don't know.
Okay. I wasn't sure if you knew. But, I mean, I'm just jamming out in all those scenes. I'm just like... God.
It's just a really great experience the whole way through.
Yeah.
Like, there's not, like, a moment of downtime, except maybe, like, the very beginning of the case. It's a little slow. It starts out a little slow, but it picks up real quick.
And there's definitely a couple moments where I was, not sure if I had all the evidence during some Psyche Locks.
Some of those Psyche Locks, I mean, the fact that they throw, 3, different Psyche Lock characters at you at once is a little intimidating, although one of them is just a joke. The
pursuit theme in this game is the second best in the trilogy.
It's real good. I really like the pursuit theme in Justice for All. The Wendy Oldbag Psyche Lock it's a joke, but It's worth it.
I just didn't like. I was like, oh shit, and then like yeah.
A 4. You give her the autograph and it breaks all 4 of them.
And then oh my god, with Matt, all 5, but you only need like 3 of them break at once.
Yeah, and then he becomes the devil.
Sorry. My hair wasn't looking so good. I'd do the slick back for a minute.
So what do you think about Adrienne Andrews?
I mean, it was an interesting. Again, it was again sort of like in the last game where you're like solving a different murder. I mean, it wasn't a murder, but you're solving a different case in this one. We kind of had to connect the dots of Celeste's suicide and everything, and turns out it was all Matt's fault, all of it.
Yeah.
Fuck him. He was an awful dude.
Some of it was
a pretty
fault.
shitty dude too.
Juan is not without blame. I mean, he did divorce this woman.
He broke the marriage off 3 days.
Yeah, 3 days later because I don't know, Matt on guard said some shit to him. Or I think he just said that
he was with her.
Yeah, that they had dated, and he was like, well, my woman is tainted now.
I fucked Celeste. And he was like, oh, well, I can't marry her. Sorry. I know it's 3 days before the wedding, but fuck you. Andrews is a cutie pie, but bland. I don't think she's bland. I think
that's intentional.
Yeah.
I think it works for the because she's trying to seem more serious than she really is.
Yeah, and she's very codependent. So her personality, what we're seeing is her actual personality. She has no personality. She's so codependent on sort of mirroring other people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought she was pretty interesting, and yeah, I mean, dude, I'm on her side. I would have fucking framed Matt too. This guy's an asshole.
Yeah. I mean, the ultimate irony is she didn't need to.
Yeah.
I don't know if, I mean, I think that she says that she knew that it was Matt that was the killer.
Yeah, she knew it was Matt, but she wanted to make sure.
This case does have one piece of bullshit in it.
What's
and
that
that's when you have to present that Adrienne Andrews was too short to wear the nickel samurai costume.
Oh god, I forgot about that.
That's some bullshit. I try not to look up stuff when I play Ace Attorney.
Well, and the worst
I had to
part
look that one up.
Is you can't, because they've got the photo up, you can't check your other evidence. If I could have checked my other evidence and looked at the samurai costume, because I knew it has.
I'm gonna be honest, I don't even think I would have figured it out, even if I could check that.
But what I mean is, at least it would have It
would have been something. But yeah, I don't usually like to look up stuff if I can avoid it. There's only a few times where I've ever had to look something up in an Ace Attorney game, and that's one of them, because I just had no clue.
There was a couple things I looked up, but they were mostly, it was mostly Big Top, and then I think there might have been one little thing. There was something in Samurai. I got lost in Samurai, and I was like, I need to know what I need to do. And I had done the right thing, but just, I needed to do it I hadn't triggered an event in the right order or whatever, where you had to go invest.
I call that right idea, wrong evidence, is what I call it when I'm playing the games. And it's where it's okay, I know how they did it. I guess I present this evidence, and it's no, I don't present this evidence. And it's maybe it's the other one. And it's exactly what the contradiction is. It's just
for me, this was during an investigation.
Getting the game to realize that you know what
this was an investigation where, I needed to go to one area and talk to someone, and then go to a different area to trigger someone to appear. I needed to trigger Salmonella to appear, and I didn't, do it in the right order. So I had to look it up to figure out, what I needed to do.
Yeah.
That was the big thing. But yeah, I've been there with the, right idea, wrong evidence. I was there, I was like...
Or, man, the thing that gets me is presenting profiles. Oh, God. They get rid of that after a while.
Oh, good.
I think Apollo Justice gets rid of it. I could be wrong. But definitely by Dual Destinies, they're done with... Okay. They're no more presenting profiles. That was a dumb idea.
Yeah.
I mean, I kind of get it, but, it's so easy to forget. Because you almost never need to do it. And, usually when you need to do it, it's pretty obvious that you need to present a profile. But sometimes it's really...
Sometimes when you have to do it during a trial, it's not very clear.
I think it's more clear in the trials than in the investigations.
Well, no, because in the investigations... Well, I guess I'm thinking more the Psyche Locks usually say, this is the person.
This is the person. But I'm talking about, when you have to present Wendy Oldbag's profile to Gumshoe so he can give you a piece of evidence or something.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just making up an example.
Yeah. I
don't think that's actually the case. But, yeah, I don't like the presenting of profiles. I think it's real silly. I'm not a fan of that. I mean, I like in some other Ace Attorney games where you can present, like, alternative evidence. Like, in Spirit of Justice or Layton versus Wright.
What gets me with that, like, right idea, wrong evidence is, like, when a character has told you something during, like, your investigation, and it's not that thing.
But you don't have an evidence for it.
But that thing comes up in the trial, and you're like,
yeah.
But they said it to me, so I know that you're wrong, but I don't know what to present.
You know what game does that real well? Danganronpa.
Oh, God.
In Danganronpa, whenever someone says, like, oh, yeah, I was in the locker room when the murder happened, it would be like, you saved their account, and it becomes an evidence.
Oh, good. Oh, that's amazing. I wish I could be like, look, I talked to so-and-so during the investigation, and they said this, so that contradicts what you said, but then
you're like, physical piece.
And then you're just, like, looking, and you're like, I don't know what to present, so you start presenting everything.
Yeah, and it's like, really? I was supposed to present the screwdriver? That's what it was? Okay, sure game. Fine by me. But I feel like Farewell My Turnabout doesn't have too many of those bullshit moments. The only one that I can really think about is like when Adrienne is too short to be the Nickel Samurai. That one's a little silly. Again,
I was trying to figure out, I was like, okay, something's up with the costume, but I couldn't pull up, like I said, if I could have pulled up the other one, I think I could have figured it out, but you couldn't pull up, you couldn't pull up the, your evidence, so I couldn't even be like, okay, well, what's wrong with this photo? Let's look at the other evidence. So.
What do you think about, that little finale, that little post-credit scene in the airport?
That was interesting. That was,
It's kind of refreshing seeing Von Karma cry.
Yeah, that made me sad. Yeah, you guys did have to... I think you guys had to tell me. Not just give me a hint for the samurai thing. I think you guys had to tell me.
But yeah, it's... And when I say, like, refreshing, it's refreshing in that, like...
She has emotion?
Yeah, that, like,
she's a person?
Yeah. That it's like, oh, she has feelings. It's kind of nice to see that. Because you never really see her show, like, any weakness throughout the whole games. And then at the very end, she cries in front of Edgeworth.
I think it was interesting to see her and Edgeworth,
it was like... interact.
Yeah, like...
I mean, they're kind of like brother and sister.
Yeah. We see them when he shows back up and, like, they yell at each other and then she leaves, and then that's about it. Like, but we know that they were, like, raised together. But,
I think there's an anime episode that's about the two of them as kids. I haven't seen it, but I believe there is one.
But it was nice to see them sort of interact and, like, talk to each other. I liked that. I'm trying to think what else.
Franziska's epic objection at the very end of the case.
Yes!
I've never been happy to hear Franziska von Karma object.
I know! When she brought all the evidence, and then I was so sad, though, that she kept the fourth piece of evidence that, like, Gumshoe took was the drawing.
The drawing.
I was like, no! I wish he had gotten to see that.
The thing that I like about this case, and it's something that I like a lot about like dramas and shit. I like when every character is like, let's fucking get this done. When every character is prepared to show up and do work.
Yeah.
JoJo Part 4 is like that when like they're trying to find Kira, and every side character is like, I will go look. Yeah. I will go do everything in my power to go look.
All the stand users we fought up to this point show up as bros, and they're like, we got you.
Or like the season 4 finale of Psyche. I don't know how much you know about Psyche, but like, there's like the season 4 finale. Everyone's like, okay, we are all gonna like fucking find the killer, and it's the same way with
season 5 finale of Supernatural.
That one I don't know.
That was good, but then. Well, it's like all the characters, like a bunch of the characters show up and they all work together, and then they all get killed off like trying to stop the apocalypse, and then none of that matters because they continue the show, and they're like, all these people died for no reason. You gotta.
But I love that, like, you know, like, Franziska is using the tracker to find Gumshoe, who's driving in his fucking car after he raided, you know, the killer's house,
the police, like,
which they were able to find because Mia was jumping back and forth between bodies. It's so cool.
Yeah, and I mean, Gumshoe, like, he already got fired, but he went anyway, and, like, he knows he could get arrested, but he's took that shit.
He's running every red light.
He's running every red light, hit a telephone pole. Like, everyone's there. Everyone's, like, doing what they got. I mean, Edgeworth has helped us, like, multiple times up to this point.
Yeah. Edgeworth, like, snatches your phone, and he's like, Gumshoe, talk to me. What's going on?
I'm trying to think who else, like, I mean, Pearl is just, like, she's, like, channeling Mia for you the whole time.
This is Pearl's time to shine, is this case. Pearl, like, when I first met Pearl in Reunion and Turnabout, I didn't really know much to think of her. I was like, she's okay, but, like, she's alright.
And she doesn't really do anything in Big Top.
And she's just not in Big Top. And, man, she fucking shows up and does work in Farewell My Turnabout. That is the Pearl case right there.
Yeah. And then there's, like, I do like that there's nice little moments in between when she's channeling.
We did skip over a fun Pearl moment earlier in Reunion and Turnabout when she comes up to see the trial, and they're like, oh, I thought you didn't know how to ride the train. She's like, what's a train?
What's a train? And she fucking walked there.
She ran.
She ran there, yeah.
She ran there. I love Pearl so much.
What was I gonna say? I lost what I was gonna say. Well, and then doesn't he tell... Yeah, I mean, it's a nice moment because, like, between when she's channeling Mia, there are little moments where we see that she is a kid, and, like, she cries over Maya being gone and all this stuff, and, like, you know, she's, pretty much during the investigation, she's just Pearl, and, you know, I like that there are a couple little people that are like, hey, Phoenix, why do you got this kid with you?
I like that Phoenix makes Pearl watch educational television. And Maya just puts on, like, stupid, like, Sentai shows instead. What is it? Children's Masterpiece Theater? Is
something
that the name
like
of the
that,
show?
Yeah.
Phoenix is like, well, I personally am a fan of Children's Masterpiece Theater.
I like that Phoenix just has Pearl. Like, she's just...
Where else is she gonna live?
Because Maya's not living in the village, so, like, I guess she's gonna live with Maya, and Maya lives... Did you just peel the rhinestone off that?
No, it came off.
But yeah, like, she's great. She's such a fun character, and she just, I mean, we see, like, because we've seen in the past that, like, Maya is not that strong of a spirit channeler because, like, she had trouble channeling Mia. Mm-hmm. But then Pearl just, like, the whole game is just like, you want Mia? Here you go. I mean, dude, I understand why Morgan did what she did. Pearl should be in charge of the Fate Clan. Like, I'm with her. Pearl's amazing.
So, all in all, what rank do you give?
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Amazing.
It's so good.
It's an amazing case. There's a few other cases that I think are pretty good in Ace Attorney, and it's been like 7 years since I've played some of those cases. So, that's kind of why I'm replaying these games myself as well. To remember, because there's some cases that I'm like, yeah, man, Turnabout for Tomorrow, that's a really good case. But you know, now I'm thinking like, I don't really remember a whole lot about Turnabout for Tomorrow, actually. I just remember that I really like it.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, this was a really good case. And like I said, I just loved, I mean, I did that 4-hour stream, and you were right, like, that was so smart to do it
gotta
all
do
in
it in
one go.
one day. It feels so good to do that last trial in one whole day.
It was worth it. I mean, it was amazing. Like, all the characters and everything. I mean, it was great.
Well, can you imagine, like, you're doing, like, a 2-hour stream and, like, Gumshoe gets into a car crash and you're like, well, guys, it's time for dinner.
Time for dinner. Have fun with that cliffhanger. Yeah. That would have been hilarious. Well, now we have a channel reward. People can ask me to do an extra hour, so
there you go.
Won't be as much of a problem. Overall, I think it's probably, of the first 2 games, it's probably my favorite case.
So, is it fair to say Farewell My Turnabout, Reunion and Turnabout, Lost Turnabout, Turnabout Big Top?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think that too many people are going to disagree on that one.
Yeah, I mean, I've got pretty normie tastes. Is yours about the same?
I don't know. I've got some controversial Ace Attorney opinions. I'm the guy who likes Apollo Justice. But when it comes to Justice for All, I don't like this game. I really don't. I know that I just spent the last 30 minutes talking about how amazing the last case is, but I hate 3 out of 4 cases in this game. Actually, I think that they are bad. With one of them being awful.
Yeah.
So, I don't think it's fair to say that I enjoy Justice for All just because I think that it has a really good finale, which it does.
Fair enough. Well, we're about at 2 hours. Were there any last thoughts you wanted to add?
No.
Alrighty. I think, we're going to start Trials and Tribulations on Thursday, so... Yeah, are you gonna be...
I might be there.
Okay.
It depends on what my schedule looks like, but I'll probably be there.
So we're gonna start that on Thursday, so we'll have, I know you'll be there, Crazy Lou. If anyone in the chat has anything they want to say, and we can discuss a little bit more. I've been crafting listening to you talk the whole time. I know, I've seen your messages, I'd be like, okay, I'm gonna read it and respond to you, and then, we'd get into something else, and I forgot to read yours out loud. But, yeah, I think that was it. I mean, that last case was just amazing. I don't even know. I got 1K channel points in 2.10 hours. Yeah. I mean, that's pretty accurate, especially since you're a subscriber. You earn channel points faster once you're a subscriber. So, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 subs in 2 hours, so that's a nice start. It's a great start. I mean, it's more than I expected to get today. So, check message count before you go. I can do that for you. Give me 1 moment. Nightbot. Let's see who... You have 920 messages. And then Tool Nerd is at 475. Zephy, you're down in 4th place on my top chatters list. But yeah, so thank you guys for the 5 subs. I'm going to have a sub counter up on my stream on Thursday. I just got to set it all up. I forgot to do it on this one. And then, Thursday we'll start Trials and Tribulations, and then no stream Saturday, and then Sunday we'll continue Trials and Tribulations. So, anything you want to say to our lovely viewers?
I don't think so.
Alrighty, let's see if there's anyone we can raid. Well, we can raid somebody who's playing Trials and Tribulations. So I'm guessing you weren't expecting 5 subs too. Yeah, I was not expecting. I was going to put it a 10 sub goal of hey, let's try and get this in the next 2 weeks. I didn't expect to get halfway there today, so we're going to go ahead and raid somebody who's playing Trials and Tribulations. So I'm going to... Oh, it looks like they just started too, so I'll start that raid, and I will see you guys on Thursday. Alright, let's get this raid started. See you guys on Thursday. Bye.